as a representative of God to all who are watching your life. Sometimes easier said than done. It's easy to give in to peer pressure. Peer pressure doesn't end because you graduate high school. It continues all through your life. But you know, maybe it's your language that needs to be tweaked a little bit. Maybe we need to watch what we say around other people. Maybe it's how you spend your money. Maybe it's other activities. Whatever it is. And I'm not telling you we're going to open the church up every day and you can only come here and do things here. That's not. We need to live out in the community. We need to be a part of our friends and our families and our circles. But we also need to live as a representative of God in everything that we say and in everything that we do, because maybe you're the one that somebody is deciding, should I follow this God thing? Figure out who Jesus is? Oh, maybe not, because I see this person not doing everything that they're saying, but they say they're a Christian. Everybody's watching. People are watching. Leviticus is broken down like this. Leviticus 1 through 17 is a blueprint of how to worship a holy God. How to worship a holy God. Leviticus 18 through 27 is a blueprint of how to live a holy life. In other words, it's all right there. Now, there's a lot of interpretation. We have to understand the culture so that we can understand the implications of what's being said. But this is technically the easiest form I could put it for you. Here's how to worship a holy God, and here's how to live a holy life. The greater the sacrifice, the greater the consecration, in other words, your action towards the sacrifice, many times means the more the fire. Did you hear that? The greater the sacrifice, the greater the consecration, there will be more fire. And God's fire falls only on sacrifice. But understand that God's fire brings purification and sanctification into your life. An empty altar receives no fire. In other words, receives no God. 1 Peter 1:16, jump into the New Testament again. For the scriptures say you must be holy because I am holy. Peter, who denied Christ, who should have been eternally damned to the pit of hell, but Jesus forgave him, quoted back to Leviticus because he got it. He sinned. He made huge mistakes. He ran away and was a chicken. But Jesus forgave him. Jesus forgave him. The worst of the worst sins. The worst of the worst. If you do not ask for forgiveness for turning away from God, God says in his word, this is the one who I will turn away from you. And Peter was forgiven. Because God is a holy, almighty, loving, forgiving God. And Peter appreciated that so much at the very beginning of his letter. He wrote, the scriptures say, you must be holy because I am holy. He found it very important because he experienced the complete forgiveness. So here's your challenge. God is holy. He longs for his people to strive towards holiness. What gets in your way? What needs to be added to your life? Begin taking action towards holiness. I told Brian yesterday, the old Church of God people who are long gone would be so happy to know that we were preaching. This is what the Church of God began existence for, was to teach holiness, was to teach that we need to be set apart and we need to live the way Jesus wants us to live. Will you accept that challenge? Will you take a serious look at your life and say, here's where I need to consecrate myself. Here's where I need purified. And will you let God enter your life in whatever way he chooses? Father, thank you so much for this message, this teaching, and the whole idea